Good. Great. So you are welcome, Gifty, to our Zoom live and our YouTube live today. In about 3 minutes, we're going to start the discussion.
Okay.
And I mean, a lot of people are looking out to hear your story, and feel free to share your story. And a lot of people also send, I mean, I've received some questions already, hoping
Oh,
to
I see.
see some of the responses,
Clarification.
you're going to give to them. And I mean,
Okay.
I think you have a lot of followers, and people can't wait.
Hey, that's
People,
where. Is it Facebook
people
or LinkedIn?
everywhere. People just can't wait
It's,
to hear you. Yeah. So just give me a minute, then we go. I'm just sending the
all
link
right.
across for people to follow.
Okay, okay. Sure,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. So good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. As promised, today we have Gifty on the YouTube live, and for our emphasis, our target is always how to make learning very important. It's at the heart of all our discussion, and we want to definitely focus on learning. Last week on Saturday, we had one of our ladies sharing with us, and the person of Sarah, and she did very well. In fact, she explained a lot of things to us. She happened to be in the US at the moment, and she also shared a lot of important things with us. And we received a lot of compliment to some of the discussion that we went on last week. And today we are hoping that it's going to be interesting, and people will send in their comment. Don't worry. Send all your questions, all your worry, and Gifty is going to tell us how she did all these things from the 3.8. I mean, when I saw the GPA, it was quite interesting. Yeah, my first master's in Legon, I had 3.88, but for somebody to be consistent, I mean, throughout, it's a good thing for us to learn from. Yeah. So, Gifty, you are welcome, and I want to give you the chance to introduce yourself, tell us about yourself. I mean, basically, we really want to know kind of the high school you attended. Also, is very important to us, and I'm sure your old students will also, I mean, connect with you here. Sure. So you can just introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Dela. SK Ameko. We love to call you SK Ameko. So, as Dela rightly said, my name is Gifty Owusu. And that's my name. So usually I get people asking me that, is that all your name? Gifty Owusu. Yes, my name is just 10 letter words, Gifty Owusu. I I am a little girl from a very small village that most people do not know in the Ashanti region called Edbinsu Bisiase.
Okay.
I happen to have my basic education in Kumasi. So I went to a school called Amakoma Brotia. It's in the Ashanti region. Those of you that know Amakom, that's where I had my basic school. And then from there, I transitioned to the senior high school, which is Ejusumai Senior High School. I'm sure most of you here have heard about my school before, always in the news for wonderful things. When I say wonderful things, I'm sure you know. And so
Yeah.
I went to Ejusumai Senior High School. There I was the senior girls prefect.
Oh, interesting.
And from Ejusumai, I came to University of Ghana. In fact, when you attend Della permit me to use the word low class school. When you
Yeah.
attend low class school, the whole mentality and idea is that certain universities are not really meant for you. For instance, like our premier university, University of Ghana. And so you see most people always rushing, wanting to go to teacher training and all that. But I think I am a little girl that lives beyond beyond my immediate dreams. So I have a bigger picture, bigger dream. So there, I remember telling my colleagues that I'll go to Legon, I'll go to Legon, I'll go to Legon. And so from there, I came to the University of Ghana. I studied hardly. I remember I had a teacher, my economics teacher, who used to say that if you yes, whatever, because you see me always with my books and all that, because the family that some of us come from, if you don't pass, nobody is going to pay any money for you to get yourself somewhere. But then once you do well, they are readily available to assist you. And so it was incumbent upon me to really take my studies very serious. And then I passed. So I came to, I think I have to chip in this. I didn't pass like smoothly like that. So, I think after I wrote my WASI, after the core maths, I was, after the core maths paper, I realized that, if I joke, if I joke, I'll fail. So that time, fortunately for me, I was on Get Fund scholarship back then. That one, I think they selected, I think in the school, the top 3 brilliant students, and I happened to be part of the top 3. So I had the scholarship, and so my school fees was always given me, and I used to keep it. Yeah, I was doing susu with it. So when I wrote the commerce and I realized that this commerce I've written part, if care is not taken, I will not be able to sail through. I decided to register for NOVDEC, right?
Okay.
So right after the WASI, I registered for NOVDEC, and then you are in school, and then most people tell you that you are good, you are excellent students and all that. So I really wanted to test how excellent I was. And then I said, I'm not going for any classes, but then I will learn on my own and see how I will be able to come up with, I'll be able to pass these exams.
Yeah.
And so I learned on my own, and then I wrote the NOVDEC. But fortunately for me, when the WASI came, I passed. I passed, and I wrote the NOVDEC, and it was quite interesting that I had some A's in the NOVDECs, which in the WASI I had some B's and all that. And so that was how I managed to come to University of Ghana, Legon, and then I did geography. And so for the first degree, I did BA geography. I think my combinations were geography, linguistics, and sociology.
Okay.
And so I dropped sociology I dropped linguistics after level 100. So I did geography and sociology. And then at level 400, I majored in geography. And so from there, also, I managed to graduate with FGPA of 3.83, which I was the overall best student for my department as at that time.
Okay.
And then from there, I did my national service with the Center for Climate Change and Sustainable Development. And from there to after my national service, we were doing school application. I'm sure, Dela, you were aware. Sometimes I'll contact you and all that. And so I had some of the schools, but then some were partial funding and all that. So I didn't really get the money. And I was like, why not try here? I'm always somebody who always looking for opportunities to better myself in terms of educational wise. And so I did my master's, and then I had 3.96. Actually had 1 B plus. If not, I would have clocked 4.0. And so, yeah, that was that. I think that.
Yeah, great. I mean, you've done a very great job of trying to tell all of us about you, how you started. But I'm quite interested. When people, as you mentioned, when people go to certain schools, it is as though they don't qualify to go to certain universities. I mean, as for me, I also went to one of the schools that is not well known in terms of, if I mean well known, Ghana, we know how schools are, and then how people know a lot of schools. Maths and science schools, my school will come every year, but will drop like. At the time my school would drop, it's very far from when people want to watch and all the display. But I remember coming to University of Ghana, and you meet people who will ask you, which school do you come from? You mentioned the school, like, which school is that one too? Yeah, but I mean, I tell people that at the end of the day, we all came to the same university. And I mean, if not that we've done well, we'll not be where we are with you. So that is not a problem. It's rather a privilege for us to, come from a very little beginning, and through hard work and then perseverance, we are able to climb the ladder and meet people who went to kind of known schools in our country. Great. Yeah. So when you came to University of Ghana, how did you begin? I mean, how was the beginning in University of Ghana? So you got admission, you moved to University of Ghana. Which hall did you stay in University of Ghana?
Yes, I was in the best hall ever.
Interesting. I mean, which hall is that?
I'm
The
sure
best
most
hall?
people, I'm sure most people would disagree with me. I have always been a farmer, you know.
Oh,
My grandparents were farmers, so since infancy or childhood, I've been a farmer, and so I was a farmer. Yes, so I was in a Kwafu hall.
great. I mean, that is the hall of excellence. I mean, you can't take it from
Exactly.
anybody.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember in our class, Prof. Jampo will always say that there's only one best hall in the University of Ghana. I mean, and that is the Hall of Excellence. It comes with even the name Excellence, which is very good.
You know.
Yeah, great. So I think, Ekwafo is just almost the same like most of the halls on campus.
Yeah.
Very nice environment for students to stay in and learn. And I tell people the last time, Sarah, who was on the call the last time, mentioned that she was at the diaspora. I'm like, how will you go to University of Ghana and go and stay in diaspora?
That's right.
Yeah, that is kind of Daddy B and those kind of people.
You need to be tough.
Great. And I remember mentioning that when I was coming, I brought my bucket, I wrote my name on my bucket and all those things. And just after 2 or 3 days, I couldn't find my bucket, and I was going around looking for my bucket. I mean, the whole SS mentality and kind of...
It was in you, eh?
Yeah, so I had to quickly adjust and understand that, you see, here it's community. Everything you have belongs to everybody. By the time your rice is almost ready, somebody is waiting that you want to take your rice cooker to go and boil some rice. Yeah, that's one thing that make the traditional hall so interesting. Yeah, so you came to a Kwafo hall. You started, so you were doing, you mentioned 3 courses: linguistics,
sociology,
and then geography, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how was the beginning, knowing that you were given 3 courses? Which program did you read in high school?
Also, so in high school, I did general arts.
Great.
And I've always wanted to do geography. So when I had geography, I was very excited.
Okay.
In fact, I bought University of Ghana and Winneba. So both schools gave me geography. But my dream has always been to come to Legon.
Yeah, I mean, people will disagree with us, but we are always the premier university. And
You know,
I mean,
you can't take it away from us.
they can go and fight with their phones. That one we don't mind.
I tell you.
So when you got to the university, knowing that you are doing 3 courses, like 3 different programs, how was it?
You know, I didn't really understand. So when I got to the university, then I realized that, okay, I'm doing this. But you see, I always say that you should ask, right?
Okay.
So I was fortunate that there was this guy, I don't know where he is, and I have lost his contact. He was a vandal.
Okay.
So there was one Saturday I think we came, was it a Wednesday or Tuesday, one of them. So we're around, and then I think orientation was supposed to start on a Monday. So on Saturday, I was trying to roam campus to really navigate my way out. And I met this gentleman, and he asked me that, am I a fresher? I said yes. And he asked me the courses I'm doing. And so fortunately, he was the one that explained certain things to me. I remember that very day he took me around to NNB, to CC, almost most places, and he was showing me. So before the orientation, I already knew these places, right?
Yeah.
So I started going for the lectures. So what I did was, I think the reason why I was roaming was to find where the departments were.
Yeah.
And so I went, geography and it's geography is around the entrance. So for that one, when I was coming in, I saw the department.
Okay.
So I went to sociology, and from there I went to linguistics. So I knew where they were. And then on the notice board, I think the timetable was already there. So I saw some NNB, I saw some N-Blog, I saw some CC and all that. So I was trying to find my way where these places were, because I've heard
Yeah.
that at the university level, you are on your own. And so I met this gentleman who was so helpful, took me around and explained certain things to me. And so that was how I got it. So I remember when lecture started, and then it was like I knew my way out, and some of my colleagues were like, have you been here before and all that? I was like, nah. So
Yeah.
preparation is very key. I took it
Great.
upon myself to really go around and look for these places myself. It was a bit trying to synchronize it was a problem, because geography, linguistics, sociology, at the initial stage, you may not find a connection.
Yeah.
Right. But as time, where possibly the connection may be. And then I was fortunate to have seen the connection, and that helped me a lot, because there were certain things I was learning in sociology, and then it was reflecting in geography. So that was how I realized, there's a bit of connection in this and all that. So
yeah. So I mean, this is to most of our viewers who might be fresh in the tertiary institution. Like Legon will definitely, if you're in the Bachelor of Art, you'll be given 3 different kind of courses or programs you'll be going to do, and then you have to find a way to balance the 3 of them. If you are in the sciences, you might be given just one. I mean, business school, we have people who are doing BA, Bachelor of Art, then you'll be given maybe public administration, accounting, and maybe HR or something. But in the maybe if you are doing Bachelor of Science at a business school, you might be given Bachelor of Science in business administration, which is kind of direct for you. And it is very important for everybody to try and find the balance. I know that universities don't have it that way. Some might be given from the beginning. Somebody can be given political science from level 100 till the end. But Legon, the BA, Bachelor of Arts student, we didn't get it that way. And Legon is always like that. You might be given 3 options, and you are allowed to drop one after first year, drop one after second year, or combine, kind of. And that is very important point you made, to be able to find the balance. But I quite remember when I got to Legon, they dropped me opposite Pent. Those who know Pent in the University of Ghana. There's a bus stop there that is not really a bus stop, around opposite the ECG area. And I was trying to locate the entrance of the university. I was moving up and down. And I saw some guy who was also moving up and down. I'm like, oh, Charlie, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Legon. Cool, let's go. He was like, oh, I have a senior man here. You know that term we mostly use in high school.
Yeah.
So we met the senior man. The senior man took us around. Then they were doing orientation, and then I asked someone that, I'm going to where you're doing the orientation. They asked me, is it the Great Hall? I said, maybe. Okay. So I walked to the entrance of Commonwealth and I asked someone. The person told me that no, Great Hall is at the gate, the main entrance of the gate. I returned back, walking, and because I'm new, I was watching how people were passing by in this crowd, a whole lot of people. I got to the gate, I asked again. The security man told me that Great Hall is at the back of Commonwealth. See, by the time I got to the orientation, they were almost closing. That was my experience. So it's good that if you are in the university, people come new, help them, trying to find their feet, kind of direct them. And it sets the whole environment in the university is a community where you need to help each other to learn and also make life comfortable for other people. Yeah, so back to Gifty. So how was it? First assignment, take home exams, take home assignment or IA. How was the first experience? Maybe let me first start with kind of your first day in class, level 100. How was it? First day in class, how was it?
My first day in class, you go there, because you've already in movies, you've heard that universities, people wear heels, they wear short dresses and all that. So when you are going, that kind of expectation, right? And so my first day, I was expecting to see people in heels, like the way we see in movies and all that. So I got to the class, there were lots of people, and then I realized that, okay, we sat, the lecturer came in, I think we had
Yeah.
introduction, we introduced ourselves, the schools we are coming from and all that. And so that was it for that day. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is how lectures is. Okay, so the lecturer comes, teaches, gives slides, and then was more introduction. This is what we're going to do. You have an IA and those kind of things like that. And I was always writing because I was scared to fail.
Yeah.
So everything that they said that day, I made sure that
I
got
hope you are not part of the student who the lecturer will say, see, stop writing, I'll give you a note. But they will still want to write.
immediately. I have trust issues. I'll write.
Yeah, so I mean, you can hear from the lecturer, and again on our platform YouTube, Dela-Connect, we talk about different learning styles. I mean, we have learners who are read and write students who always want to write something. No matter what you are telling them, I'll give you the slides, I'll give you the note. They still want to write. Yeah, so I think that is just kind of normal with this crop of students, and it's normal. I mean, to make your note. Yeah. So how was it? So I don't know about your first assignment. Was it an IA? Was it a take home assignment? How was it?
My first assignment. Let me try and see if I can remember.
And also, I really want to understand, how did you put your notes together to submit your first assignment?
Okay, so I think because it's something that I've always been doing in SHS, because
No, but in SS you were not using the computer, you were not typing. The lecturers don't give you slides. They copy notes on the board for you to write. But over here, you come for lectures, and then you are given an assignment,
and then to type.
Great, you have to type. How was it? And were you using computer before you came to university?
Yes, I was fortunate. So I had a personal computer. I had a personal computer back then in JHS. And
oh, interesting.
We had a computer lab. So for typing and things like that, it was something I was doing, but I wasn't really much abreast with most of the things in there. But for the typing, I think I was a little bit. But when I came, I don't think I had a computer. No, I had a tablet. And so I think the first assignment, I used my roommate's laptop. So I typed on the laptop for the assignment. Yeah. And so for the typing and other things like that, I was able to navigate my way out because I had been using laptop back then in JHS. And then also we had active computer lab. Yeah.
Okay.
So it helped.
Yeah. So how was your reaction to the first assignment? When you were given an assignment, what did you do? How did you do it?
When we were given the first assignment, I think I knew that I needed to get it right because this is the university level. And so trying to research, because I've heard that if we give you assignment, you need to research and know what other people have done in the field and all that. So yes, I was researching.
In level 100, you were researching?
I will go online and I'll be searching. And what I did, I think what really helped me most was that I had some of our church members who were also doing the course.
Oh, nice. Deeper Life.
Yeah, who were doing geography. Yeah, who were doing geography. So for them, they were always like, they were more like my notebook.
Wow.
I'll always go to them and they were very helpful. So I called them every time. When I have an assignment, they will explain to me, do it this way, do it that way. And then I was getting materials from them.
Okay.
And also one thing about Deeper Life is that we have, like the way churches, you have general secretary, you have coordinators and all that. We also have a body called the more like academic affairs body. So like what they do is that they help they help students across all fields. So
Okay.
irrespective of the course that you are doing, once you come to them, you tell them, they will look for a church member or somebody who is in that field for the person to also assist you. So when I came, the person that, as at that time, was holding that position was also doing geography. So it was
Oh,
very much
nice.
and that guy was an excellent. He was a shark because during their time, I think it was just a point something. He would have been the valedictorian for their cohort.
So
Yes.
will you say that, I mean, getting to know, I mean, in education, we'll call a more knowledgeable person who guided you through the process was very helpful?
Was very, very helpful. Very, very helpful because one thing that I was blessed with was that they will always, once I learned from them, sometimes it's very difficult. I go back and I teach my colleagues, and they find it quite fascinating that we, all of us, don't understand. How come you went and then you simply understood it?
Yeah.
And the guy I'm talking about is not just one person. I think there were about two or so. So what they did was they really like learning. So always researching and all that. So sometimes I don't even have to do most of the research. They will be telling me, okay, when I read this, they said this and all that. They're giving me the statistics and all that. So it was very helpful. So getting somebody in your field, knowledgeable in your field, is very important. You
Great.
shouldn't be, because once you are there alone, you suffer. But once you get somebody to really cement the ground for you, it becomes quite easier.
Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, and kudos to your church on
Yeah.
campus for such a great. In fact, I know a lot of people from your church, and I think it's a good one. The kind of support they give to their first year students when they come to school, kind of guidance and directing them to next a path for themselves. I think that is very good, and congratulations to them. I think they've done so well. Yeah. Again, so on the same kind of learning mode, where a particular way you're learning, are you the library type of person? Are you the on the bed? You know, I can't remember meeting you in the graduate reading room, and you sit in the graduate reading room as though you are a graduate student, but you are an undergrad. And you sit with your books. I mean, I wonder what you were doing. And well, your stature and your appearance also doesn't show that you are undergrad. Yeah, but you'll be. I know how people, the porters will come and sack undergrads from the reading room and all those things. Yeah, but I know how you sit in the reading room. You'll be there quiet and be reading as though you are doing some thesis, some 200 pages thesis that you are never finishing. I mean, yeah. So where exactly were I knew you were learning in one of the reading rooms. Yeah, and
Yeah.
not that I saw you. I remember seeing you in sub Equafo Annes D and then Annes C reading room before. But
Yeah.
aside these places, where again are you the library type? I mean, where were you learning on campus?
So I think majority of my learning happened in our study room.
Okay.
I wasn't the 24-hour reading room person.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really going to the 24 hours reading. I think I went there once, and that was I think Eugene had a light out, and so they were using gen sets for
Okay.
the 2-hour reading room. That was nearing exams, so that was when that one I didn't even get a chance. I had to come back.
Okay.
I was learning. Most of my learning happened in the study room.
Okay.
And so I remember people saying that I should sell my bed because I wasn't sleeping on my bed. Yes, so I learned. I used the reading room a lot, and then also for our departmental library, I also use the departmental library sometimes. So usually, what I do is that when I go for lectures, the time I will use the library is that when I go for a lecture and then maybe I realize that this I'm not getting it, and I'm somebody that always wants to get it. I'm that aggressive to really understand it. If I don't understand it, you're talking to me, Charlie.
Yeah.
I think I need to really understand the concept.
Yeah.
So usually when I don't, after lectures and it seems that I'm not really getting it, I don't go to the room. So I just either go to the nearest department library, so maybe
Okay.
sociology library or geography library. Just go and sit there and do maybe 2 hours or 3 hours before I come back to the hall, depending if I have lectures for, maybe if I have another lecture, then maybe I'll be there, and then the next lecture I'll move to the maybe the lecture that I have. So
Okay.
I was using the reading room.
Great.
Yeah, and I was coming to, the reason why I was coming to the graduate blog was that I realized that place, I really like quiet place when I'm learning, right? For the thing to really sink. So when our reading room, because it's undergraduate, sometimes becomes noisy. So when it does becomes noisy, I decide to come to the grad. And you need to maintain the composure, because undergrad they will sack you, but
Yeah.
you maintain the composure. When they come, they think that, oh, you are some graduate students, and then they will just leave you. So that was it.
Yeah. So again, do you prepare before you go to class? Do you read in advance before you go to class, or you go to class to kind of hear the information from the lecturer first? And again, let me just do it in this way so that it can be good for you to kind of share your thoughts on that. So at the beginning of the semester, you are given a course outline. What, in your time in the university first degree, what do you do with the course outline? Number two, before the class, do you prepare? Do you try to read in advance what the lecturer is coming to teach before you go for the class? How did you handle these things?
Okay, so the course outline was very important to me. What I do was that once I'm given the course outline, I sit and then really go through the course outline and know the expectations and the things that we are going to treat for the semester. And so once I go through, what I do again is that when I go to class, I think this one, they have to pay for consultation.
Okay.
That's why we are on Dela-Connect. Yeah. So once I study the course outline carefully and I go for lectures, what I do is that I pay attention. So if you talk to me during lectures hours, I not go mind you. I pay attention and see, because lecturers, you can get all your questions during your during lectures.
Okay.
And so I see which parts they are hammering on much throughout the course outline, and then I know that, oh, this will come. Then I'll start putting asterisk. So I think I have to look for my books. Sometimes I even write exams question.
Okay.
On that topic.
Wow.
So yes, it was very helpful. And I'm somebody that learns. I think not necessarily, but I learn every day. So probably I've already learned whatever we did, and then sometimes to try to research ahead a little bit, because it really helps depending on the topic and all that. Makes it quite easy to really assimilate. So
Yeah, I think that the psychologists will tell you that the more the information reoccur in your short memory, it actually forms schemas in your mind that can easily be recognized. So by then, the knowledge might move to your long memory, and you can really associate yourself with them and be able to recall them. Yeah. So, what about exams? How were you preparing for exams? Do you prepare before the exams, or you wait and then when revision week, you start preparing? How were you handling preparation for exams or exams in general?
Oh, that's great. Most people say that they are able to deliver and work under pressure. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't like pressure. So what I do is that I learn from the very day onset. So what I was doing was that when school resumes, right, I make sure that I gather all past questions. The first week, I go to the library. I get all the past questions, print them out. And so what I do for my learning is that based on the course outline, I look at, because sometimes they change the lecturers. So I
Yeah.
look at the course outline. If it's the same lecturer taking the course, and then the past questions, and see the trend. So I do trend analysis of past questions.
Let me write it down. Trend analysis of past question.
Trend. So I will take notes of all the questions that has appeared. And sometimes I look at the year intervals too.
Okay.
So if you come, I have past questions depending on the ones I will get. As old as 2015, some are like 2018, 2010, 2009. I'll print everything out.
Yeah.
And then I will juxtapose it with the course outline. And then once I go, so I know that this question, and based on how the lecturer is teaching the course, I know that, oh, this one particular one will come in the exams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm somebody that learned almost every day, as I said, spend most of the time learning and all that. So for exams too, I make sure that I learn everything. I'm not somebody who will say, let me learn and leave some, because
Okay.
who knows that the
Yeah.
one that you learn, you go and then the question is quite tough, you can't answer. So I learn everything, and then once I go, I make sure that, okay, these are questions that, and usually I read articles too as well. So
Okay.
make sure that it's not just like writing for writing's sake. I back it with examples and some, because that's the university level. They will tell you when you go for during orientation, you need to back some of your argument with factual statements.
Yeah.
And so what people have done in the field and all that. And with the lecturers too, so for instance, maybe I make sure that we have most of our professors who have written quite a number of articles and all that, and even the reading materials that they give, I make sure that I learn some of them, and then when I'm lucky enough and my projection for my exams question comes in, I make sure that I have some of these citations inside, but I'm not, I can't give the reference list, so I just do the inter citation. I don't do reference list. Yeah,
Great.
so.
Yeah, great. So I think one thing I'm picking from what he just mentioned has to do with trend analysis, because one of the questions I was definitely coming to ask you was about past questions. But you are saying that at the beginning of the semester, when you take the course outline, you go to look for past questions and see, because every past question, as every student knows, there will be the name of the examiner will be stated on it. So you go to look for the past questions and try to see if it's the same lecturer who is taking the course now, and try to see the way they set their questions, and then you use that along the semester before exams time, right?
Yeah.
So
And
kind
I
of.
start even solving some of them. And I'm now close with the TAs. So sometimes I go and show it to them. I will write it in an essay format, not really looking into. So I make sure that I learn, then I write it and I go and show it to them. They will mark it and then tell me that you need to improve this, you need to do this and all that.
Great. That's very important. I mean, one of our videos we have on our YouTube channel has to do with things not to do at tutorials. And one of the things one of the TAs mentioned is that some students don't even come for tutorials at all. How was your life on campus and tutorial? Because you just mentioned TAs. How was it? Do you go for tutorials?
I don't think I missed tutorials. So I really love tutorials, because that was the point that sometimes some of these TAs will explain it to you for you to really understand it. And then you have some of your colleagues coming in to share their insights and their views on the topic and all that. So I really
Yeah.
love going for tutorials. And one thing that I think most people say that I didn't have social life. I don't know whether I didn't have social life, but I think I did a bit. Was
Okay.
that I knew that once you come to school, there's a purpose.
Okay.
I believe that in life, there's purpose to everything. So once you
Yeah.
are in school, there's a reason why you are in the school.
Okay.
And then you look out for the broader objective. And so the broader objective is for you to really learn, to excel in the field
Yeah.
that you excel in. And what are some of the petty things, or the I would say That's the key objectives or the
Okay.
sub-objectives that will help you to achieve the broader goal. And going
Yeah.
for tutorials, I saw it to be one of them. So I was always regular and punctual at tutorials.
Okay. Great. Great. It's good to know that you were punctual at tutorial, because I mean a lot of students go for a particular program, they never attended tutorials. They don't even know where the tutorial. I mean, there's that room. Their colleagues have been going for tutorials. I remember.
One thing, I think before there was something that I think level 100 we did, and it was very helpful.
Okay.
So there was this guy called what's in the name?
Yeah, sure.
So when we came, we formed a group studies. I'm not a believer of group studies because I feel like sometimes it's just a group talking. That's how people come and then they'll talk and all that, waste time. And I'm somebody who doesn't like wasting time.
Yeah.
But this group studies was very, very, very helpful. I think one so far. So what we did was that we had a class. It was a geography class, which was 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and so we converged at 6 a.m. So
Okay.
we're converging at Gonja, an SB reading room. And then when we started, I think we were about 5. Later on, we had some colleagues joining, so we got to 8. And you know, when there's a motive or objective, and when the people in there are very serious, it will obviously attract serious people. So we
Yeah.
have some non-resident people joining us at 6 a.m. By 6, we have started.
Yeah.
And so what we were doing was that all of us will learn whatever was taught the previous week. And then by 6, we are at Gonja. We have our discussions. By 7, we are done with the discussion. We will set off, and then all of us will walk. And we had it at JQB. Yeah, we had JQB 23. Then we walked to JQB 23. And it was very helpful. Very, very helpful. And that was when, because everybody wants to show that they understand it, level 100, you know. So people will go and then learn, research, watch YouTube videos, come and explain it in the most simplest form and all that, which was very good. And so maybe we have freshers here or students here. Make sure that if you find yourself in any group like that, the group should have a purpose. And someone, I think from there, I didn't join any group again because all the groups I saw were sometimes you go and they are talking, they are wasting your time and all that. The time that you could have invested in something profitable, you go and then you end up talking and all that. Make sure that if you find yourself in a group, it should be profitable. It should be a group that at the end of the day, you know that, oh, you have gotten something from it. Shouldn't be a group that you go and then you are discussing things that are unrelated to the main purpose.
Great. Thank you, Gifty. Debbie is saying in the comment that you should tell the listeners and the viewers that there were times you were sleeping in the reading room. You should tell them. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Not sleeping as in I will go and sleep. Oh, my bed is there. I love my bed. I wouldn't go but then I spent most of the time in the study room. I spent most of the time because for my room, I think I only come to eat, bath, and sleep for like say 30 minutes, 1 hour. The rest should be in the study room.
Okay.
And I think it was. So there was this. I had a corner I sit. I make sure that because once you go and then, and I didn't really have most friends in the study room. Most friends, as in, because once you have, they will end up talking and all that. Hello, hi, how are you doing? We talk, chat small, and then I just go and sit at my corner and then start learning. So yes, there were countless times I was in the study room and my bed was there. Empty.
Yeah. So Vera is saying that farmers all the way. Hall of Excellence, the best hall you can get. We have one Kujo Ajakwa saying well done to her. Wow,
Thank you.
great. Yeah. So we have one Judith also saying that indeed group discussions are helpful. I mean, they are very important. And you mentioned some two things. Let me just emphasize on that. The issue about trying to read beyond what you are given in class. Because you mentioned people go to watch YouTube videos. I don't think there's anything we can learn in class that has never existed.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
true.
think there is something that, I mean, your lecturer is teaching you in your university that has never been taught anywhere in the world. And in today, in this modern technological world, people are doing videos about everything.
Yeah.
If people are doing videos about how to cook, what about a particular content in academia? So you can get to watch videos everywhere, and that will help you to, I mean, get better understanding. I mean, with a lot of things I don't understand in class. And I like the whole idea that you meet in group, you discuss before you go to class. That is
Yeah.
very, and if there's one thing I'm picking from the discussion with you, has to do with discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, we know people
Discipline is very key.
who can be on
Yeah.
their bed on social media till morning.
Yeah. So, when I came level 100, I think there was a time my pastor was looking for me for like 1 month. They were not getting me.
So does it mean you were not
And
going to church?
I was actually going to church. I think he wanted to see me after church hours and all that. And, discipline is very important.
Yeah.
And once I go to church, I know that this is the time for church. I was also a leader. I was a leader from level 100 to 400.
At church.
Yeah, church. I think level 100, I was the librarian, and then I was the pioneer leader, like a cell leader.
Okay.
I also became the general secretary.
Okay.
I was also financial secretary and
Wow.
all that. So once I know that, okay, this is the time for church service and all that, once I'm done, I'm done. And so I remember social media, you send me messages, I'll go through and see which one are most important, relevant and all that. Those that are not relevant, I don't waste my time on them. And so, for instance, when I got to level 400, you'll get people saying that, oh, we are going to have a group discussion. And I will tell you, the group discussion you want me to come, because my time is very precious. Even 5 minutes of my time, I know that I can watch a YouTube video that will transform my life. So I don't want to come there and then
Okay.
you end up talking and all that. So if you want me to come, you want me to come and explain something to you, or you want us to learn, and then I ask you how many hours or how many minutes. You tell me 1 hour. That's fine. If I come, I know that in an hour I'm leaving. I make sure that I'm punctual on time. I go there on time. So if you say 6 to 7, I'm there 6. I don't have anything. I'm not mean. Your YouTube followers, I'm not mean there. I am a nice person. If I come like 6, if you decide to use 40 minutes to talk, I wouldn't say anything. You will see me there probably learning on my phone or doing something. And once it's 7, probably maybe around like 6:50, that's where your serious discussion has started. After 7, I'm gone. It's 1 hour. 1 hour is 1 hour. I'm gone.
Great.
Because you need to be very disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you end up doing a whole lot of things and a whole lot of stuff, which is very important to really take notice of.
Great. When you were talking, I was just thinking about social life. When I started sharing the flyer, someone sent me a question that he really want to know whether you were involved in any relationship when you're on campus. I mean, were you dating somebody? Did you have a beloved when you were on campus? And how were you able to blend that with studies? Because if you are saying that you spend the whole time in the reading room, or I don't know, but what was it for you in terms of relationship?
I think my church has played a very significant role. For my church I'm coming from, and not church per se. Okay, let me pick it from a church perspective. We don't do this dating and relationship things and all that. And me being a pastor's daughter too, growing up from the mission house and all that, kind of relationship stuff and all that was not really something that I was into. And yes, we had a lot of maybe guys approaching you and all that. And
So you were bouncing everybody that was approaching.
oh, Dela, why not?
Oh no, I mean, were you bouncing people?
Okay, I think so. I think I saw them not to really be serious and focused.
Really?
And yeah, serious and not because they are saying that they like me and all that, but sometimes people, their reaction and how they behave and all that, you realize that these people are time wasters. And one thing that probably is just recently I'm getting to know that, and this is something I was doing, and it's something that in the books was I think I was trying to cut every time wasting
Okay.
activity
Okay.
that will impede my brother goal. And
Okay.
so sometimes you realize that it's not really a healthy relationship, kind of. Do you get it? So why will I then invest my precious time in something that is not healthy?
You know, there's somebody in the comment section. I won't mention his name. He's saying that she's a bouncer. I don't know whether you've bounced him before. Yeah, but so
Oh, they're
so
saying I am a bouncer.
yeah. I mean, so will you say that to students who are doing first degree, you will not recommend relationship for them?
Hey, I'm more than a relationship therapist, though.
Yeah, I mean, from your experience and knowing the demand of studies and how you're able to go through, will you say that okay, for undergrad you not recommend relationship because of, I mean, kind of time management, or people can, I mean, you want to advise people to tread cautiously even if they want to go into one? I mean, what would be your advice?
Exactly. Then I think that's it, to tread cautiously, because it all depends on you as a person, knowing who you are, your capacity, what you can take in, what you cannot take in is very important, right? I wouldn't say that you shouldn't do relationship, or I wouldn't say that you shouldn't do relationship or any sort of, but you really have to know yourself and know, because I had a friend who was in a relationship. I remember fortunately she had a second class upper, and then she told me that was even the second class upper was the one that pushed her. I remember level 400. I brought her all the way from TF. We studied together, making sure that she's studying and all that. She had a series of broken hearts and all that, and so she was telling me that she knew that if I had held her hands earlier in even level 300 second semester, she would have gotten a first class, because she had a very powerful second class upper. So it all depends on the kind of relationship that you have. It depends on the two of you, right? Because if you have somebody who will always guide you to learn, will always make sure that you are doing the right thing and all that, and who will not be demanding unnecessary things from you, then probably you may be good. But assuming that you are in a relationship and every now and then, even during examination, is when he will be giving you broken hearts and all that, how will your mental health be stable for you to concentrate and learn? So you really have to know who you are, what you can take in, what you cannot take in and all that, and then you figure it out.
Great. I want to say that I mean, just don't I don't know whether I should put it that you were afraid of broken heart. That is why you didn't date anyway. But that is fine. I mean, that is fine. That is fine. Yeah. So let's just go to the issue about your graduation in first degree. So at the end of your first degree, you had a very good GPA, 3.83, if I'm right. And then, I mean, how did you how do you conclude with your thesis also? I know you did a long essay that took a lot of time, up and down. How was it also? I mean, I know a lot of students who also want to do long essay for their first degree. Will you recommend people to dare it, or I mean, take the challenge to try a long essay? Or I mean, if they have the option to pick some coursework to balance it, they can just go ahead and pick the coursework to balance it. What will you recommend? How was the experience with the long essay during your time with your first degree?
So it wasn't easy. Dela, you remember I was coming to you, always chasing you. Dela, I have to do this analysis. I remember.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So I will recommend long essay is very important. You know, we have most students running away from long essays and all that. You know, it's very important to take the difficult things and difficult steps in life, because anything that comes on a silver platter, I know that is it will surely have an end, right? But then once you are able to test how resilient you are and how you'll be able to pull through life, I believe that doing the hard things usually pays. So I think when I became the valedictorian, I had the opportunity to speak to my church, and I was telling them that I was the person that will always do the hard courses. The courses that people are running away from, that's the course I will do. And my reason being that I feel like for the easy courses, you have most people doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so you have taking those courses, and there are a lot. So the lecturer will then give it to the TAs to mark. And sometimes these TAs can, a lot. So, but then if you have a few people, if the lecturer has a few people, he will be the one to mark. So once you learn very well and then you're able to put your thoughts together, you'll be able to excel. So long essay is very important. It wasn't easy. I remember and all that. I was always on the graduate block looking for people to help me with my analysis and to explain certain things to me. And I remember Dela helping me. And it has, because at the master's level, this is what you'll be doing. Research is very important. And so once you don't have the basis or the foundation, then you'll find yourself wanting.
Yeah, so there's one Nia Iti saying that I disagree with the one who said you had a broken heart.
Hi, Dela.
And yeah, so I'm saying that there's one person in the comments saying that he disagree. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, there's somebody who is supporting you saying that he disagree with the one who is saying that you had a broken heart. And listening to you, he thinks that you are one of the Yasantua of our time. And that is so impressive. Yeah. I mean, trying to deny certain pleasure of society in a particular period. And I used to say a lot of time that you came to university and you're going to stay for 4 years. 4 years will come and you can't go back again to do the first degree again. So what you have to do within that 4 years is important. You must achieve that. Back to graduate school. Now, after first degree, you did your national service or campus. You came back to school to do a master's degree. And then with a master's degree, you became the valedictorian. I mean, before we hit I want to use the valedictorian aspect to wrap up, but I want to ask you, what were your challenges in the University of Ghana? I mean, as a student who pulled through all these things, what were your challenges? I mean, you can share some with us. And how were you able to overcome some of the challenges along the line?
So I think one of my my challenges.
Or I mean, it was all also rosy. There was no challenge. I mean, you were not going through any moment. Just about book, and you were done.
No. I think my challenge, I'm sure Abina's upon is on the call. So I was, Dela, I think you even came to visit me. I used to fall sick, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be admitted at the UG hospital, maybe 2-3 days. And so that was, it was part of the challenges I had back then. And then also, I think the hardest hit was when I lost my father.
Yeah.
And that was, is it 2 days or 3 days to exams? That was my final exams.
Yeah.
And so I lost my father. That was a Saturday, and I was starting exams on Monday. And my eyes were swollen. I didn't know how I was going to write and all that. But,
Yeah.
it's very important to always learn, because I had already learned from the beginning of the semester. I couldn't learn because once I go to the study room, I know that I have exams ahead of me. I have to learn and all that. But I pick my books, I go there, and I'm looking into the books, but my mind is somewhere.
Yeah.
So it was a blow. But it was surprising. I think that semester I did 7 courses, and I had 5 A's, and I had 1 B plus and 1 B for
Yeah.
that one
Great.
for that semester. And so that is because I think I had already prepared or learned, and so it was quite easy. And falling sick too, because I always learn. So even if when I'm sick, I've already learned, so I have a backup and all that. So that was it. And for my master's degree too, I think it was a financial challenge. Finance was was tough. I didn't have school fees, but I said I would do my master's.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So you'll be there, and then I had not paid my school fees, and I'm doing the master's. You go, and then it's taking a toll on you, your mental health and all that, because you don't know as to whether you're going to get the money to pay, and the deadline was getting close. They say write a letter, you're going up and down, your letter is not being approved.
Yeah.
You sit in class, you don't have access to Sakai because you've not paid your school fees and all
Yeah.
that. It was just not, it was not a good feeling for the first semester. The first semester, I think I went through hell. And so fortunately I applied for Get Fund Scholarship, and I think I did some serious prayers and fasting. So I was fortunate to get the scholarship. That for the second semester, at least I was a bit relieved. In terms of accommodation, I didn't get accommodation on campus. I was also fetching a friend.
You are part of those who have been patching.
I wasn't patching on campus, so I was patching a friend outside. Later, I had to move, look for a place, and a whole lot. All these things happening whilst I was learning.
Okay.
So any least opportunity. And you see, one thing I would say about this is not to really boast, but to say that know that you are not the first person to go through such a situation, and also know that you don't really have to let whatever your surrounding or your environment take a toll on you. Right, because know that once you allow your environment or your situation to take a toll on you, the point is whatever you want to achieve, you may not be able to achieve it.
Okay.
Period. And so just know that you have to make it. And it's not anybody's responsibility for you to be successful.
Okay.
And so whatever you are going through in life, know that sometimes you need to put them behind you and put on a cheerful face and make sure that you are going to make it happen. So I was going through all these things, and nobody in my class knew that I was going through this. Sometimes you don't even have a place to sleep. You've not paid your school fees and all that. But I was always the first person to raise my hand, answer questions, doing presentations and all that, right? Because I knew that I had to make it.
Great.
And so not to scare anybody, but that's how life is.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask a question, but be thinking about it before you answer. I want to lay some emphasis. So, what do you think is the difference between graduate studies and undergraduate studies? So, you doing your first degree and going to master's, what are the difference? But before then, you made some very key important things I want to stress on. Is that everyone should understand that challenges are real. Challenges exist, and you are not the first to go through. That's number one. Number two, you should take personal responsibilities of your challenges and find a way around it. And just to mention that Nee is back on you, supporting you again, saying that, maybe the broken heart you had was the loss of your father. I mean, that would be the broken heart. So not a relationship broken heart.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
That was my broken heart.
yeah, so probably Okra was right when he said you had a broken heart along the line. Yeah. So, and also, I mean, someone is saying that she's an inspiring role model and leading by example and motivating others to be their best, worth celebrating. Great. So, what is the difference? Graduate school and undergraduate studies. How is the difference?
Was graduate school, I remember we have this lecturer who said that you are a graduate student, so you need to think like a graduate person. So at the graduate level, it's not like an undergraduate. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And much is expected of you. And so anything that we are doing, and it's not about you and Paul.
Okay.
It's about understanding the concepts and making it. So I see graduate school to be life.
Yeah. Okay.
It's life. It's whatever is happening on the field. Right? Whatever is happening on the field is what has been brought to the classroom. So it's about a matter of understanding that this is what you are going to face in the real world.
Yeah.
And so in situations like that, how do you go about it?
Yeah.
Right. And so, for instance, me doing climate change is a global issue. And it's not just within a specific area like Ghana or Africa.
Yeah.
And so you need to really get yourself abreast with whatever is going on in the world in terms of the space that you find yourself.
Okay.
And for the graduate school level, you call yourself a researcher. A researcher is somebody you need to read a lot. You have to really understand and write like a graduate person.
Okay.
That's the point. So maybe there are certain things that you may be pardoned at the first degree level, but for the graduate school, as a graduate student, you need to know. For instance, you are writing a term paper. You know that the university uses APA referencing style.
Okay.
How is it done? And there are a whole lot of tools that can be used to do these things. So you need to get yourself abreast with some of these tools and all that, and know how to do your proper citation. At the graduate level, when they tell you that explain maybe what, you don't just go and say the lad did just go straight to, you need to know that you need to have your introduction, you need to have your body, what has to feed into all these things are very important. So you need to have the graduate mindset, think like that, and then write as such.
Great. So this is to our viewers. We'll be wrapping up in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So if you have any question for Gifty, just drop it in the comment section, and then we'll ask her for her to respond to them. And this is where I hit on it very hard. Master students graduating with a GPA of 3.96 on 4.0. And you mentioned that you had all A's except one B plus, right?
Yeah.
How was it? Was it that you already know the answers to all the questions before you went to the exam room to write the exams, or was because you mentioned the issue about accommodation, the issue about finances during the whole period? How were you managing all to still read and write, or your lecturers you were just dashing the grades?
No.
I mean, before I came to University of Ghana, when I was in high school, that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to come to University of Ghana, because there was this teacher who went to UCC and came to my school, was teaching, and whenever they mention Legon, he's like, no, Legon, they don't learn, they just play. It's just about playing. They just play. So I didn't like the whole idea, but after school, I met people who told me a lot of good things about Legon, and kind of, when I got to Legon, I really understood that it is not
a joke.
It is not a joke. And I mean, in the public space, people think that Legon students, they just play. I mean, it's all about dancing, chilling, going for whole weeks and all those things. I mean, moving up and down. But truth be told, it's a tough moment in Legon if you have been a Legon student before. That doesn't mean that other schools are not like that. These are different institutions with their kind of culture and their system they practice in terms of examination and assignment and all those things. So how were you able to manage and still get your grades?
So I think that one important thing is emotional intelligence is very important,
Okay.
You have to be emotionally intelligent, such that you don't allow your environment to have a toll on you.
Okay.
Right. Because you got to do this. Know that things that are happening to you, they are just it's just a moment. It will pass.
Okay.
It will pass. There will be a time that whatever you are going through will pass, and it wouldn't be there. And so you look at the bigger picture and ask yourself: are you going to allow this to have a toll on you, or you will really put yourself together and make this happen, which is very important. And so one thing I do is that sometimes I remember those times I come for lectures, I just will go to the washroom. I'm not going to do anything in the washroom. I'm going to cry. Sometimes I feel like crying. I just go there, cry, wipe my tears, then I'll come and sit. Nobody knew that I went to the washroom to cry. Wipe my tears and come and sit there. Once the lecturer comes, I'm the first person to ask a question, to answer a question. That's it. You just have to let it go. I think that's why I say it's emotional intelligence. You really have to learn how to let things go so that they don't become part of you.
Okay.
Once things happen to you in life, that's it. You just have to let it slide. It's not easy, but it's something that you learn. By and by, you get used to it. So that was it. And for my learning, as I told you, that you really have to, I believe in excellence and I believe in giving out your best.
Okay.
And I study my lecturers too. So I know that this lecturer is this. I remember there's a lecturer that we did a course first semester, second semester, and then even our predecessors were saying that nobody has had A in his course and all that. And I wrote his exams, and he keeps talking about the exam. And even my first job I got was we had a project, and it was because of the exams I did. And so when I finished school, I wasn't getting anything. I was working with him on that project, you see, because I knew that this is somebody who has worked in Canada. He has worked in the EPA before. He has worked with Zoom Lion. He teaches this course. This is where his interest lies. This is where he picks his argument from. He's my friend on Facebook. Some of the things he engages himself in and all that. So you know that this person is an analytical thinker. This person expects a lot from you. So if you are going to write this person's exams, you need to impress. So you have to write to impress.
Okay.
On that paper, you are not there. I remember he saying that when he marked the script, he knew that this paper could just be one person. You know, we don't write our names and all that. So he quickly went to check the ID, and he was saying it in class. So later he called me to his office and he was telling me about it, to keep it up and all that. And we we are cool friends now and all that. So you really have to write to impress.
Okay.
You don't have to don't say that, oh, Gifty there. Her IQ is this and all that. We all have the same. It's about mentality.
Okay.
You can do it. Just read, learn, and then practice. That this is what I want to do. This is how I want to write about, show it to people, discuss with people, get their insights and all that. And sometimes when you're on Facebook, Instagram, social media, anything that is relatable to your field, you can cite them as examples in it.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Not the TikTok and other things, but maybe the news, there's something. I remember there was we did ethics in administration, Professor Bawule, and I had seen something on the
really? Professor Bawule taught you ethics?
He taught me. He's the one that gave me that B. I did not believe Professor Bawule. I mean,
a lot of us know Professor Bawule from the business school. I mean, he's the Dean of Business School, University of Ghana. Very great man in academics, and also he has a very good social kind of relation with his students. Yeah.
So it was his paper I got the B+. Yeah. with force. But I did his paper green business. I had A, so he's yeah. So as I was saying, there was something I saw. I think as at that time we're doing corruption and some anti something. You see, these are things that are around you. Sometimes they can even set questions from it. So I saw it and I brought it and we had a discussion around it in class. So it's not like something that is really big deal. You can cite them in your exams and all that. You can get the sources.
Okay.
And now that you're on Facebook, you get the news feeds and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. So let me ask one, how's the feeling as a valedictorian? How's the
Okay, so
feeling?
I didn't know that I was going to be the valid. In fact, it was for the first degree. I didn't know there was something like becoming a valedictorian until level 300 second semester or so. Then start watching graduation. I said, hey, who are these people? They say valedictorian, overall best, this. After that time, I think my GPA was up around 3.81. And I knew that, hey, people are getting 3.9 something, there cannot be. But there was an encouragement that you need to finish with a strong GPA. So that was what stuck to me. And I said, okay, then. So from there, I think the following semester, I think I had all A's. All A's, and then that pushed me to 3.83. So for the masters, it never crossed my mind to becoming a valedictorian. I was just doing what I like to do, learning and all that. And so I was there, I received a call. No, before that, I think one of my professors had mentioned that, when they do something, what is it? When they did the determination or something, they realized
Determination. Yeah.
So we should have graduated. That was 2023 in December. But some of my colleagues, I think, as at that time, were not done with their exams, and it was a whole lot so we didn't graduate. So that was how I got a hint that it's possible I can become the valedictorian. So that was it. But then I didn't really know, because now we had pushed it to the following year. Which also you have new set of people graduating, so somebody can get 3.98 or something. So I was there and I received a call that this was it, and I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. And so the feeling was like, wow, so this is coming true. This is reality.
It's a dream come true.
It's a dream come true. It's a dream come true. And I was like, oh, wow, thanks be to God. So it was a nice feeling,
Yeah. And also, so on the screen, I'm sharing your speech. Followers can go. Yeah, your profile that was published by the University of Ghana, and it's widely on social media. Followers can just go and read. And also, I saw you took picture with some very important people in the university. Yeah, and
Prof. Kaufman and
yes.
Prof. Roberts.
Yeah, I saw you took very good picture with them. Yeah, and I mean these are giants in academia, and we also want to say congratulations. I mean,
and it was a happy day, because Prof. Kaufman, that day we were going for lunch, and it was dinner. She saw me and she was like, well, Gifty, come. I want to take a picture. I want to take a picture with you. And I was so happy. I was like, hey, It was an interesting moment,
Yeah. So somebody was asking a question. Did she have a side business while on campus? If yes, how do? Yeah. So I think the person. I'm sure the person knew you through some of the side business. So you can share something about. So it means it does not only academia, does not only books. You were doing side businesses as well. So you can share something on that.
I was doing side businesses. I think I did a couple of things. So I was doing hair. So I used to style people's hair. So I was styling hair for money.
Okay.
I used to also sell hair products. I used to cook. No, the cooking I didn't do it. The cooking I did it during service time. I used to sell thrifts like faux dresses.
Okay.
I used to sell bags. I used to do these were the things. And I used to also help my colleagues to sometimes they will maybe say that they don't understand certain concepts or certain things. You go in there, you explain to them and all that. So I was doing all these things whilst on campus. But then I knew the time. So
Yeah.
if probably I do these things or maybe do my posting and all that. Once I have learned and I'm very tired and all that, that's where I'll do but I wasn't using my serious learning time because I had timetable. And what I do is that I had timetable. So I have a morning shift, evening shift. So I have timetable. And so
Yeah.
everything is well calculated in there. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, I mean, it's very good to mention that you were doing side things too. In fact, I remember your hair. In fact, I am trying to not to speak about how I know you, and I mean the issue about your learning and all those things. Yeah, because I remember knowing you through
Abena.
Abena, who is also on the I mean following live and also sharing some of her. Somebody is asking, are you Osa Naturals?
Yeah, I am Osa Naturals.
Oh, great, yeah.
So my local name is Osa.
Oh, okay.
So even my food blog is Osa's Kitchen. And then my natural hair this thing. Oh, my hair brand is Osa Naturals.
Okay.
So I'm the one.
Great. The person actually mentioned when he saw the flyer that I think I know her somewhere, maybe in Legon or something. Yeah, great.
Oh.
Great. So now I want to give you the opportunity to, extend a advice to young ladies who, now meeting great people. I know you are inspired and you want to climb the ladder. Well, I can't wait to hear from you that you've gotten a PhD admission. And I can't wait for that.
Amen.
Yeah. So what is your advice to young ladies? What is your advice to students, people who are entering the university, trying to enter graduate school? And I believe that in the future, when we interview you again, you will tell us that there's a difference between a PhD student and a master's student. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, the dynamics are always different in every sphere of life. So what is your advice to, our listeners, students, what is your advice to them from academia to learning to how to balance their time? I want to give you the next 1 to 2 minutes to, give you advice.
Oh, my advice will be that as a young lady, be stubborn about your dreams. Be very stubborn. When when they tell you that this is not possible, this is not achievable, know that everything is possible once you put hello.
I'm actually giving you the full screen to talk. Yeah.
Know that everything is possible once you put your mind to it. Right. So you will have a lot of people coming, and I believe in personal conviction. So be convinced that whatever you are doing is the right thing, and have it in your heart and in your mind that you are doing the right thing. And how will you know? God is very important. You need to be very close to God, and you really have to know that you are on your own, right? It's very important to know that you're on your own in this world. And no matter what people tells you, sometimes you will get people in high esteem positions telling you that I don't think you should do this. I think you should do this. It's very important to really receive advice from people, but personal conviction is very important. I remember when I was doing my master's, it took Miracle, Abena, Sapon, and my mom, and just a few people. I had lots of professors telling me that we don't think this is the right way to go and all that. But when we became there, you see all of them coming, and sometimes you have the bigger picture, but these people do not see the bigger picture that you are seeing, right? So you need to really make them believe and see the bigger picture or the bigger goal. right? That's what I'm saying, that you have to really be stubborn about your dreams. Once you know that you have this dream, come what may, you know that it's achievable. This is what you're going to achieve. And then don't belittle yourself thinking that, oh, you come from a poor background, you are this, you cannot do this and all that. Just have a bigger picture, bigger goal, and know that everything that you set your mind to it is achievable. You can achieve it. And you can do it with God on your side. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Somebody is saying that he will call you. Says she knows how to make money, so I call her Mami Sika.
Emi Pesico, I like money.
Very interesting. Yeah, so thank you so much, Gifty, for coming
you.
live to talk to our followers. It's interesting, and to have you here and to share a lot. We've been here for more than an hour. Yeah, and I think a lot of people who will listen will learn something from this. And it is our hope that, I mean, hearing from your experience, how you're able to make it, people to also, one day someone can look up to you and say, oh, I listened to her one time and I was inspired. Yeah, and I was inspired. So the person is telling, I should tell you that let her know Papa Sika is watching. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so
Thank you, Papa Sika.
in case people want to reach out to you, yeah, I know Facebook, your name is Gifty Owusu. What about any other social media kind of platforms?
Oh, yeah, my name has always and forever been Gifty Owusu. So on
Okay.
LinkedIn, I am Gifty Owusu.
Okay.
Okay, I think on Instagram I am Osaba Pa Anantio.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. But they can reach out to me on Facebook and then on LinkedIn. I'm very active on this social media.
Great. Expect to receive a lot of new friends through Facebook.
Yeah.
Expect to receive a new follower. I mean, a lot of people will be following you. Yeah, so people are just sending you congratulations. We're all done.
Thank you.
I mean, wishing you all the best in the next phase of your life. As I mentioned, it's not all about academia, but I believe that academia serves as a platform to impact a lot of lives.
Yeah.
And I talk with a lot of people, I host people, I speak to people, and people mention that, oh, I know Dela has helped me here, and the same way people also helped me along the line, and people are still helping. So for me, I believe that we can really impact a lot of people through even our learning, and we can touch a lot of lives. Thank you so much. And this is to our followers. Do well to share the video to people to listen to, subscribe to the channel, Dela-Connect. Follow me on Facebook, SK Ameko, and Legon as well, and we will connect. Thank you for joining the call. Thank you, everybody. And have a nice day, have a nice evening, have a nice morning, a nice afternoon, depending on where you are located. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.